Hey gang, welcome back to Jade's Garage. This video, well, I'm just going to cover a variety of different things, but I want to talk about the 68 Mustang and the progress that I'm making on this car. If you're interested in videos like this, I suggest you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to see more. Now, as I've worked on this car, I have done a variety of things, whether it was putting in quarter panels, wheel houses, tail panel, floor pans, torque boxes, rebuilding the doors, reworking the fenders, the hood, the front suspension, the rear suspension, putting in a rebuilt engine, adding air conditioning, adding power brakes and power steering. And as I continue on, I'm going to keep working on the car to try to get it ready for paint. So, as I've said, this is a 68 Mustang known as Jade. And I've been working on this car for off and on for 7 years, I think. There's been several other cars come through the shop between the time I bought the car and where it's at today. And so this is really kind of a follow-up as to what's going on. So this will be the last video that I make for 2020. And let me tell you, it's been a bang-up year. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I've put out more videos this year than I probably have in the past 7-8 years. I've tried to keep up with live streams, doing those on Mondays and Thursdays. I've tried to put out 2 videos a week, along with doing whatever else I can in between with the other channel that I have, Jade's Workshop. So this has been just a continuation, on and on and on and on, and I think it's fantastic. There's been a lot of growth over the last year, whether it was from people coming to look at the Brooklyn Pony project, or the Jade project, or to learn various other skills that I may have demonstrated over the year. So I want to thank all of you for participating. There's been so many that have been joining in on the live streams and also giving information on, as far as comments and stuff like that on the videos that I put out, offering suggestions, different types of paints or primers to use, to where you can find products and different things that you want to use on your car. So that's been really great, and I'm hoping that continues. Just like with the live streams, I hope that continues to grow as well and get more and more people involved. We tend to have a lot of questions and answers, and sometimes I don't have the answer and I defer to somebody else. Hopefully they can answer the question and help people with their projects. As it stands right now, the Mustang Jade is looking pretty good. You know, I didn't do much between, you know, of course around Christmas, and now we're working our way towards New Year's. So I'm trying to take care of a few small things. Those small things involve trying to finish up some of the work on the doors and the front fender, and I'll show you what I'm doing with that in just a second. I do want to point out, I had Phil send me a original hood latch. And if you saw the previous video that I made with the hood, or that CJ Pony Parts hood latch, I put it in and tried to use it. Not a good idea. It just didn't work in my case because it flexed the hood too much and I couldn't even open it up. Let me show you this. This is an original hood latch. Of course, this is the, you know, has the Dynacorn hinges on it, which are operating fantastic. But watch this. Come on down. Can't beat that. I mean, really, you can't beat that. Hopefully you can see here. Maybe I'll reset the angle here, but I want to show you what's going on with the fender and the rest of the car. Okay, as I demonstrated on the other fender, which had more problems because that fender was beat up real bad and I had to, you know, add filler to get the shape right. This fender, and I did not do a demonstration on this, and maybe I should have. Whenever I had this fender on the car and I showed it all bolted together, it really wanted to push off of the fender, let's say, so that your body line on the side here protruded out. And up here at the corner, it also wanted to offset, which doesn't look good. You know, you want it to line up. What I did, and I probably should have done a simple demonstration, but I'm going to explain it to you. The fender, or these extensions, they have these guideposts. There's one up here at the top in the center, and then there's one on the side, and they appear to be maybe slightly tapered, maybe. Those are really an alignment type of thing. Now the holes they go into on the fender, they may be a little bit big, but it's to help you align things. What I decided to do was enhance or modify the holes in the fender so that whenever I put the extension in place, it just kind of locks in. Those holes are going to hold it, or those pins are going to hold it in location, so no matter what you do on the tightening the nut, it's not going to make it shift. So what I did on this fender, I added weld to the edge of the hole out here, and this hole, and I'll point out, somebody had oblonged those holes, it seems. They were a little oval shaped, and to correct that, what I did is I added some weld on the edge, and I also welded material here on the fender, and I just put the headlight bucket or extension up in place, and I just got lucky, really. I added just enough weld that it lined up dead on, and all I had to do was sand down the face of that weld to make it put in place. Now I took some pictures of it, and in these pictures there's nothing holding it on the car. It is just set into the fender, and that's it. At this point I have it all bolted in. It's all tight. Now there's nothing wrong. The gap was really, I mean, the transition was super close. But I do know that down here, the fender actually it tucks in a little bit, you know, behind the bucket. So I decided I'm just going to run a coat of filler on this face, just to make sure that I have a clean transition, just like I did on the other fender. Up here on the top, there was a little dent, so I added filler there. And all I need to do is block sand this out, and it'll be good to go. On the door, I'm doing a very similar thing. There was a bit of a transition difference between the door and the fender. Now remember, these are original pieces, so they should line up really nice, but there was some variance. So I'm just being proactive. In my case, I like to see things as straight as I can get them. So I'm doing the same thing. The door is latched in place where I want it. I'm just going to sand over this, make sure there's no low areas, you know, so it doesn't look out of shape. I'm not going to be adding any metal to this at all. The gap was dead on, but I want to make sure this transition is right and smooth. So I'll be block sanding that out, and I'm doing the same thing at the back door, or back of the door as well. Now that back there, I've already started on it a little bit, and same thing, adding filler over the gap. And I also, by doing this, adding the filler, it locks the door in place. So as you're sanding, it's not wanting to bounce in and out on the striker. So that's partly why I did this as well, to make sure all of this is in line with each other. I'll get that sanded out and go on from there. Now, of course, I'll have to cut this open. I use a little Ziz wheel, little cutoff wheel, and just follow the gap, and then I'll come back in with a sanding disc and clean up those edges to where it matches. But it should turn out really nice. So with all that being said, I just want to give you some information, just because I've been talking about it on my live streams, and just to give you an update, right? I decided to do or take my early retirement from my main job, which I'm not drawing any pension from that or anything yet, because it just doesn't make sense to take it too early and then lose the benefit of having a larger sum, let's say, down the road. So I've been focusing on doing everything on the channel and maintaining, videos and different things in an effort to boost the income, let's say, I get from YouTube. So I've talked about it on the live stream. Back in March, I was generating about $2,200 a month from this channel. That's a real number, $2,200. And then after the pandemic hit, that number dropped to $1,300. Almost $1,000 difference in 1 month's time. Well, it has steadily increased. Now, I'm just now getting close to where I was in March. Now, people always ask, how much money do you make on YouTube? Well, not always, but there's people that want to know, how much money do you make on YouTube? My average for the year is about, it's not even $2,000 a month, honestly, at this point. On this channel, it's not even $2,000 a month. I think for the whole year, it's showing me at $21,000. Now, the point of that, or mentioning that is before taxes. I have to pay taxes on all that money. The other channel, it's generating about around $400 a month. And again, I have to pay taxes on that. Anything that I make on this channel, first of all, YouTube takes half of it. So really, I'm making about $4,400, and YouTube takes half of it. That's the fact. That's how it works. It's their business. It's their company. To be part of the process, you have to pay for it. So I don't know how else to get around that. People have been contributing on the live streams, putting up, super stickers and super chats. That has helped boost the month of December. And probably for this month, with those increased dollar, figures, I think I'll finish out the month around $2,600 on this channel. The other channel will stay the same. I've had people join me on Patreon, and I'll show you, these are the people who are supporting me on Patreon right now. And I think there's 31 or 32 at this point. And so the way Patreon works is people can make a monthly donation to Patreon or to my account, and then Patreon takes a little percentage of that. It's service fee or whatever it is that they call it, and that's normal. You're going to run into that no matter what you do with any company or any kind of service. So that has been beneficial. I think currently that income is around $370 a month is where it's at. So that's been fantastic. That you add that with the YouTube money, well, I'm around $2,900, I think. And then the other thing is Amazon. Well, Amazon, the percentage I make off of Amazon is really kind of small. I think on average, I probably made about $200 a month off of Amazon. Because they're not going to pay you a big percentage. Unless it's a really big ticket item, they're just not going to pay you a big ticket, dollar figure. So add into that, 200, I'm around 3,100 a month. And then the Teespring, that kind of fluctuates. I've had 1 month where I made $150 or something, and then it drops, and you can't really count on those type of things. But things are improving, and I appreciate everybody that has participated. The support for the channel helps me keep doing this, helps me keep making videos, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to go back to a regular job. I like being out here working on cars and demonstrating things, teaching people, and showing them how to do their own projects. So that's where I want to stay, and that's my plan at this point. Hopefully the numbers pick up a little more, and the whether it's the YouTube money or Patreon or Teespring or whatever, hopefully it just picks up a little more, because the reality is, again, I pay taxes on all this stuff just like you do with your regular type of job. So anyway, just some numbers for you. But it's been a great year. I don't know how many videos I put out over the year. I know I talked about it on one of my live streams, how many minutes of content that I put out for the year. I don't know the hard numbers. Maybe I can find that and post it here, maybe if I can find that information and share it with you. But it's been great. I mean, really, I like doing this. I want to keep doing this. And I have to thank all of you, whether you're a patron or just a viewer, for being here, participating, thumbs up, comments, all those things that help the channel grow and continue the growth. So we'll see what 2021 has to offer. Hopefully things improve. They have to improve, I would hope. But we'll wait and we'll see. On a side note, our daughter, she tested positive for COVID. And she is currently in her apartment, and unfortunately, she was exposed to it before Christmas, and then she came to visit us for Christmas. So there's a chance that we, could come down with COVID, my wife and I, and our son and daughter-in-law and grandson. But she didn't know, and that's how it works. It just gets passed on, and you go from there. So we're waiting to see what happens. Hopefully, none of us, the rest of us, get it, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. All right, that was a lot of rambling, a lot of information to share and digest, and I'm going to get to work on getting this block sanded out. Maybe I'll do a follow-up. It probably, will be next year that I actually have the next video on this car. Other things I need to do, I need to finish the interior, the AC install. People have been asking about that, so I need to finish that project. I need to come up with a speedometer, which I'm looking at maybe Dakota Digital or something like that to replace the junk that I have. Dash pad and seat belts, steering wheel, those type of pieces that I need to add on and finish out. But it's all good. It's all good. So that's going to be it. Yeah, that'll be it. So until next year, take care of yourselves. See ya.